Hey ladies, how are you doing?
Wonderful. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being on Bench to Bold. I'm Elisa, as you well know.
And I'm Marnie. Hi, ladies.
Hi, Marnie. Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much, Ellen and Ione, for being on our show today. We so appreciate your time. And I'm just going to jump right in. And the first question, I wish I knew the answer to this question. I should know the answer to this question because I feel like I've known you for long enough to ask this question, but I have never asked. So take us back to what inspired you to start Rucker Roots? Because I don't know the answer to that.
So we got started with Rucker Roots at a transition in my life. I moved in with Ellen, me and my 3 kids. I was going through a divorce. Our girls were little, and they were at the point where they wanted to wear their hair straight. And we really were instilled with loving our natural hair. Even though we like to straighten our hair, we like the versatility of it. So Ellen at the time was a chiropractor, but our mother back in the 80s when we were growing up instilled in us to not put chemicals in our hair, to not put relaxers in our hair. And that was definitely the trend back then, that everybody was getting what we call perms or relaxers. And she never allowed us to get those. And we actually have a funny story about our first time sneaking and getting relaxers. But so we were up at night, late at night after the kids would go to sleep. And like I said, Ellen was a chiropractor at the time, and she was a little burnt out from being a chiropractor. And we started Rucker Roots. We started formulating different concoctions in Ellen's kitchen, and Rucker Roots was formed.
Yeah.
So speaking of, starting Rucker Roots, what was the moment that you knew that this brand was going to take off? What was that moment?
Actually, I think we were blessed that we had a reality TV show called Love Thy Sister on WeTV. If you haven't watched it, you can still watch it on, it streams on, I don't know, one of the streaming channels, but it's a really good show. It was about 3 sisters from the South. And we launched Rucker Roots on Love Thy Sister. So we had a really great launching pad. And after the show, wasn't picked up for the second season, we still had, people that had purchased products because of the show and loved, Ione and myself and my sister Ruby, and they just wanted to support us. But shortly after that new, feeling of, they had a show and, we're going to purchase this product. We realized quickly that, we had to go to work because we didn't get picked up for the second season. And so Ione and I started doing a lot of trade shows where we go and do consumer-based trade show where we are introducing the products to the consumer. And so we did several of those shows to kind of get out there in front of the customer and just give them, a taste of what Rucker Roots had to offer. And then we hired a salon distributor. And when we knew it was a great product and a great business is when the salon distributor, she would take the product into salons, and salon owners and stylists loved the product and they would use them on their clients. And then once they, we got that recognition from salon owners, we were like, this product is, a thing, and let's keep going, keep producing more products. And, and then after that, we just kept going to trade shows. We kept producing more products. And then our first, retailer was Sally Beauty Salon, Beauty. And they picked up the product. They brought it into stores and we're 10 years in now. So
speaking of that, what other retailers? Because I know you're in other retailers. I've been to an event, right? Is it Nordstrom you're in as well?
Yes, we just launched. Well, not just. We've been in Walmart over a year now. We're in over 1,000. We just got an expansion though, so we are in over 1,000 Walmart stores nationwide, which was really, really huge for our business. So yeah, we're in JCPenney as well. ruckerroots.com is our website where we ship really fast. We call ourselves almost as good as Amazon in our shipping department. So we really love for our customers to follow us on our website for updates and sales and things like that.
So what do you like about being an entrepreneur? What are the pros and the cons to people listening saying, okay, I want to start a business. I don't know what I'm doing. How do I do it? Like, just give us the roadmap to doing it.
Honestly, I feel like, Ione spoke on this earlier. We come from a family of entrepreneurs. So before I had this, I did Rucker Chiropractic. We name everything Rucker, I guess. But I did that for 11 years. And I gave up my chiropractic practice to start this business with Ione. What I love about being an entrepreneur is because it gives you flexibility. At the time, I had a young daughter, Kai. She's now 20 years old, but at the time, she was young and she was in elementary school and she wanted me to be, present. And honestly, being a chiropractor and being in an office, 5 days a week from 9 to, 5 every day, I did not have that flexibility. And in order, when I started this company with Ione, I was able to attend more, activities with her. I was able to spend more time. That is a luxury. I realized that. And now that I have the twins, same thing. I'm able to do that. The cons is a lot of times you are the last one to get paid.
Not a lot of times. All the time.
You have, you have your inventory, you have your products, you have your staff, you have your warehouse, you have rent, you have all the things. And, and that's the tough part of it. It's always a balancing act, making sure that everything else is paid. And a lot of times you're the last one to get paid.
Yeah. Absolutely. I would just piggyback on that. It's great because it's the flexibility of it all. But like Ellen said, you have to pay everybody else, and sometimes you go months without getting paid. So you have to really plan for that.
So what are you ladies planning for the future with your products? So how big do you want to go? Like what is the expansion for Rucker Roots?
Ione and I talk about this a lot. With a hair care line, you're always doing, research and development. So we're always looking for new products to bring to the market. So we're always in talks with our cosmetic chemists to really work on products that are versatile and, work on all different hair types and textures, just to expand our reach. Also, we really want to focus on direct to consumer and just building out our website. I know that, a lot of times, newer brands want to get into every retailer. We just want to do our best at the retail companies that we're at now. We also are thinking about, refreshing our farm, our family. We have a family farm in Lancaster, South Carolina, and that's one of our goals as a family to, do something with our farm and maybe, have some events there and just bring our product line into, where it began. The inception of Rucker Roots started at our family farm. Our dad used to use these wonderful, vegetables from his garden and bring them home to our mother, who used to do these kitchen concoctions for our hair. And so we really want to go back to those roots and really hopefully develop our farm and do some things in that light.
Yes.
I know, speaking about events, you have a huge event coming up. You were on Positively Charlotte yesterday, looking fabulous as always. And you mentioned an event coming up here in Charlotte. Can you elaborate and tell us a little bit more about that event?
Yeah, we're having an event on Sunday, August 24th at the JW Marriott. It is a celebration. We are 12 years in at Rucker Education Scholarship Fund. We give back scholarships to our community of students in Lancaster, South Carolina, first generation college students. We haven't had a fundraiser event in quite some time, being that it's our 12th year at Rucker Education Scholarship Fund and our 10-year anniversary at Rucker Roots, we thought it would be a great idea to have a huge celebration. And so we're doing it next Sunday, and we're going to have some live entertainment. We're going to have Ellen's husband, who is wonderful, Bakari Sellers, as our keynote speaker. We're going to have some amazing, it's called the Rucker Legacy Brunch. So we're going to have some awardees that we give awards to that are huge in the community of Charlotte, North Carolina. We're going to have great food and drinks. It's going to be amazing, but for a great cause of raising money to give more scholarships to Rucker Education Scholarship Fund recipients. And it's just been an amazing journey. We started off actually 12 years ago in Longview, in our community here in Waxhaw that we used to all live in, with a huge event, inaugural event back then. And we just want to continue to raise money and give back to the community that we love and that we grew up in.
So if people are not able to attend, is there a link that they can donate to this great scholarship fund?
Yes, there is. It's ruckereducationfund.com is the website, and you have a donate now link on there, and it's always there. You can donate anytime up until Sunday or even after Sunday. Like I said, it's under the foundation of the Foundations for the Carolinas, which is a huge organization here that we work together with since the inception of Rucker Education Scholarship Fund. So
also on ruckerroots.com, there is a click-through link where if you want to purchase tickets, you can do it directly there. It'll take you to the Eventbrite page, and you can purchase tickets for Sunday's event.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So on both sites. Check us out. We still have a few more seats to fill, so we would love to have you guys there on Sunday. But if not, like Elisa said, we would love your donations.
So what's it like being sisters and working together, raising a family together? And how do you guys navigate that? Because I'm sure that there's a lot of things that go on in your lives that sisters, just to begin with, and then being business partners.
Great question, because that was going to be my next question.
Amazing question. You know what? In the beginning, it was a really difficult time. Just the full transparency. Both of us were, had young children. I was going through a divorce. I was already divorced, trying to raise my daughter. And starting a business, you don't know your roles. And honestly, you don't know at that time. Had never worked outside of the home, and we didn't know our strengths at the time. And I can honestly say 10 years later, we have both leaned into what we feel are our strengths, and now we understand what we can and cannot do and our capacity. And so it's a very smooth relationship now. But in the beginning,
you also can't hire anybody because there's no you're just starting out, so you can't hire anybody to focus on the weaknesses. So
right.
The weaknesses were always seen more than they are now, because now we're fortunate enough that we can maybe hire someone to help us in those areas that we may not be so good at.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a balancing act in the beginning.
Yes,
for sure. But we fought daily. But as 10 years in, Ellen knows not to ask me to do certain things that she would ask me to do before, and I would know to just leave her alone and let her. We just know how we work. So it's been a roller coaster, but it's good. We always would talk, and we're best friends anyway. We always talk 10 times a day. So it's been a fun experience.
Yes.
So was there one moment when you guys were creating this business, and as you're going on this journey, where you got feedback and you were like, oh, this is really going to be good. This is going to work. Or like, let's go. I mean, what was the moment where you realized, all right, I think we're onto something here?
Yeah. I think my aha moment was when we started picking up retailers, when people started taking the product seriously. Once you get into one major national retailer, a lot of times it does help launch you to the next one. But, when we got opportunities with Target and then after Target, because in 2018, we launched into Sally, and then the first of 2019, we launched into Target, which honestly was a very difficult, launch, because I was just, I had just had the babies and, trying to do that. And then right after that, COVID hit. And so it was just like, oh my gosh, that was kind of a difficult launch, but it truly was my aha moment. And because it just made it, we were serious in the game. We were one of the, brands, emerging brands in Target. And then, after that, we just kept, expanding into more companies. And now we have about 7 major retailers that we have partnerships with. So
I can piggyback on that. I think also when we started out and we had so much positive feedback from licensed professional hairstylists that were like, oh my gosh, this stuff is really good. It works. That was the moment for me that I was like, okay. I mean, I knew it would work because we had worked so long and hard on our formulations with our chemists. But for the stylists and the consumers to just really love and give us such positive feedback, that was huge. And like Ellen said, in 2019 was, I think, an aha moment for all of us, because we launched into Target. We also were on Good Morning America that year, and we got so many new customers from being on Good Morning America that March during Women's History Month, that it was just like a huge boost in our business. So those were the 2 moments for me.
So tell us who can use this product or who cannot. Is there anyone?
Everyone.
Okay. Yeah.
Everyone can use the products. Our products are 100% vegan. They're sulfate free. They're paraben free. No petroleum, no artificial color. And we really pride ourselves on using great ingredients. I tell people all the time, because I have Caucasian women that love the product, and I tell people, everyone can use the product. You just may have to use it differently. For, someone with finer hair, you just would not use as much conditioner, or you would use one of our products that is a little bit lighter and not so heavy on the hair. A lot of our products have a distinction, like our curl custard, for instance, is for curly, coily hair. So it's for hair that is a little bit tighter in curl. I wouldn't advise it for someone that has, finer, straighter hair, because it's going to make your hair too heavy. So we have a little bit for everyone. And on our website, we have been strategic in, placing different products in different categories. So it's easy for those to shop.
Yeah, because I feel like, people would ask, for people that wear hair extensions, is this product safe? And you said it, you mentioned sulfate free, and that's one of the big things for hair extensions, that I think you're supposed to use a sulfate free shampoo and conditioner. So, yeah.
So, all right, you all have children, and we're, getting kind of towards the end of our podcast here. But what is your legacy?
We're not ready.
I know, but but we still have a few more minutes,
and then
with you all day. We'll do a repeat. So what, you are amazing women, entrepreneurs, athletes, kind of had some, public eye experience. What is the legacy that you would pass on to your children? And what are your kids? What are your expectations for them to pick up the ball and run with it?
I have 3 kids, and 2 of them are actually in college. So I talk to them about this all the time. I tell them to work hard, to find something they're passionate about, and to make a living on that. Because, my dad instilled in us to always work hard. Nothing is ever going to be given to you in life, and always do right by the people that you work with and and then life will be good. The legacy is that your name always is more important than anything else. And so to have integrity, to treat people, like I said, how you want to be treated, and just continue to work hard and trust in God always. Yeah. So that's the legacy. Our dad and our grandparents really were hard workers. Our grandparents were educators. Our great-grandparents were farmers. Our dad, like I said, was the first Black dentist in Lancaster, South Carolina, but he also was such a savvy businessman and a farmer. And so he's just our inspiration, because I still to this day don't know how he did everything that he did, and he raised 8 children and put us all through college without having any loans. And he was not a rich man. He was not given anything in his life. So it's just a testament to hard work, and family, and putting your family first.
And I honestly believe that, we are a product of our community. I think community is so important. The people that you have around you, but also those that you give to every day. And, we try very hard to, give back to community, to instill in our kids that community is so important. I think that's the legacy that we want to lead and to leave. I think that's why we are very strong with giving back to Lancaster, because, Lancaster is a little town south of Charlotte, North Carolina. A lot of people didn't know about Lancaster for a long time, but now I know Indian Land is like the fastest growing community, one of the fastest growing communities in the United States. And Indian Land is Lancaster County. And just to think that, our grandfather has a middle school named after him in Lancaster. Our father was the first Black dentist in Lancaster. Ione and I, we've traveled and been all over the world, but we're 2 little Southern girls from Lancaster, South Carolina. Mm-hmm. And we've been on the national stage and all of those things. But, growing up in Lancaster, there, some kids still growing up in Lancaster, I don't know the percentage, but we still have a high percentage of poverty rate, and we still have, some areas, it's still a food desert. And so we just want to, give back to the community and instill in our kids that it's so important to have community around you. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, so with our show coming to an end, of course, we'd love to have you back anytime, but I want to leave our listeners today with something good. So I'm thinking, give us one pro tip to keep hair healthy with Rucker Roots year round. What would that be?
My pro tip would be to sleep on a satin pillowcase.
Okay, I'm doing that.
Satin bonnet. Always. Don't, like I have my hair right now tied up really tight. Don't do that at night. Loosen it up. Sleep on a satin pillowcase or satin bonnet. That's my pro tip. Drink lots of water and take your vitamins as well.
Absolutely. Scalp care. A lot of people, there are a lot of people that do sew-ins, mm-hmm. braids. All of those things are great. Mm-hmm. All of those things are fantastic, but making sure you care for your scalp, oiling your scalp, making sure that you're, shampooing and mm-hmm. conditioning your scalp, just making sure you have a healthy scalp, because if your scalp is inflamed or if you have any kind of scalp ailments, then your hair is not going to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Those are great. That's great.
Yeah. Well, thank you, ladies. I think that your parents and your grandparents, I'm sure, are very proud, as are your children and your family. I'm delighted that I got to spend, although virtual, a little bit of time with you today. And I'm definitely going to be trying out my Rucker Roots. I will report back and let you know how that goes, but I know I'll love it. And so thank you for joining us and for being so bold as to saying to your sister, let's get in the kitchen and, listen to our mother. I mean,
Thank
it
you.
takes brave women to listen
amazing.
to their mom.
Congratulations to both of you. This is a huge step, I'm sure, in you guys' life. So congratulations, and thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining in to Bench to Bold. I'm Marnie.
And I'm Elisa. You can find us at Bench to Bold on all social media platforms. We will also be on Spotify and Apple TV, and we do have a YouTube channel. And it's all Bench to Bold. Yeah, so we're super excited about it. So thank you, Ellen. Thank you, Ione.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
See you next time. Bench to Bold.